Yeah, I thought he was good. Unfortunately, I had a couple things. It wasn't a big inning. There was just one-run innings that stacked up on him. One of them play that didn't get made, it normally is, and keeps it a little off. But we just had trouble going anything offensively. And really made that a little more lopsided than what it should have been. But I thought he did a nice job. He was efficient every inning. Figured out ways to use everything. It was, I think, a continuation of what we've seen his last several starts. Well-located fastball, smart with the breaking ball, and the changeup was plus. I think he should be very proud of a lot of the adjustments and the improvements he's made this season.
Did you feel like the final outing was sort of indicative of just the strides he made this year in terms of maybe I think specifically being on the attack a little bit more was one of the things that we seemed like we talked about early in the year and saw more of late?
Yeah, same conversation with a lot of the young pitchers, and he was not just on the attack with the fastball, but on the attack with everything. Much more aggressive with the breaking ball. Had a real good idea and a good feel of when to use the changeup and not overuse it. He saw the effectiveness of his fastball, especially on the inside part of the plate, and he executed it when he needed to. He established it early. I thought he did a nice job, better than what that line will show.
Annie.
Hey, Mike, you talked about him attacking all four quadrants earlier today. He didn't walk a batter for the first start of his career. I mean, is that kind of indicative of what you think the kind of pitcher he can be?
Yeah, I think there's even better location. He and I have had this conversation. He knows it too, because he sees the work that he does. It's just a matter of really keeping the emotions in check. But, there were a couple of times where he went ahead and let it eat, and he got a swing and miss at the top of the zone. I just think there's just, with the way that he throws the ball and the way that he can locate, there's just so many ways that he could get guys out. And he showed some of that today, but there's even more in the tank. And velocity, but I don't even think that's the key. I think it's finding that right velocity where he can put it where he wants to. And today was one of those days where he just found that sweet spot and stayed with it.
And then what did Jax do against you guys that kind of held your offense down?
Yeah, that's a great question, because, not even a lot of hard hit. I mean, just kept us off balance, and trying to figure them out was the key that we really didn't find today, and not giving us a lot of mistakes in the middle of the plate, and mixed it up just enough to keep us off balance.
Lynn, back to you.
Yeah, Mike, I just wanted to check. Were you looking to get a review on that steal play there? Did they tell you couldn't review, or was it just one of those where you didn't think there was enough there?
We ran out of time before they could find anything. I think we actually got lucky there. I don't think we would have got that one overturned, but we were trying to, at the time, just need another look, trying to get another angle, and apparently their clock had us running out of time to be able to do it.